I thought about making a video for my build for the longest time, but I was too lazy to do it. And I said, let's do it now before the new weapon spear comes into play. Because obviously, like everyone else, I'm gonna try it out also. And I'm gonna lose all my skill specializations and everything else. So before changing things around, I wanted to make this video. Okay, let's start off with a little bit of backstory. So I have a fascination with winter and everything about it, if you can't tell by my name. So I love playing with ice builds in every game, and I try to play a long range ice control mage type of thing, and in both PoE and other MMORPGs. So I definitely knew for sure I was gonna start with Steph as my primary weapon, but I wasn't so sure about the second weapon choice. But I never liked playing the meta in any games. I like experiencing things on my own, and I love theory crafting. So I said, let's start and see how it goes. And to my surprise, the abilities in this game for mages were limited to 16 meters, which is this range. I think, if you ask me, is not long range. I can barely call this mid range. So as I played, I noticed that the game forces you to close, even if it's PvP or PvE. You are forced to play the mid game and the close game. So I said, let's go with the great sword, right? So I had this similar build, which I'm not gonna go into because it's been a while since I played that. But yeah, we're not gonna talk about stuff great sword today. We're gonna talk about our final final build, which is stuff longbow. Okay, let's start with the basics and the overall philosophy, and I'll go into details of the skill and the build with the items and the gear later on. So the overall idea is just playing a control ice mage, ice mage or frost mage, whatever you call it. Supposed to be a control mage, but that also deals some good amount of damage with lots of AoE abilities. I mean, almost all of them. So you got AoE for days. So let's start with explaining the skills, I think. So these two are your bread and butter abilities. They are on like a 5-second cooldown, which I don't have that much cooldown yet. I need some traits to fully get my cooldowns. So I think you can get these down to like 4, maybe even 3 seconds. So these are your bread and butter abilities. You will keep spamming when you are out of I mean, your other abilities are on cooldown, PD. So this is your biggest hitter in your build. So much so that the what's it called? The blitz ability, the reset function. It can't be used for Judgment Lightning. I think for this very reason, because it's a very effective skill. If you get a heavy attack, you can almost one-shot people. Allah, 10 numara iş ya. Ohoho! Ananı sikeyim, adama tek attı. This one. So it's immediately after these two. This is also another AoE, I mean AoE ability. This is, as you know, there's no need to explain this one, I think, Flash Wave. One of the most OP skills in the game right now. Biggest AoE, biggest damage, 4k, 5k damage. To this big of an area is just insane. I think it will get nerfed pretty soon. So this I will skip for now. I will explain in detail one. Let's skip to these right hand abilities. So these are just like helper skills to boost your overall stats, healing, boosting, and moving around, mobility skills. So this is like functionality for me, the right hand side. So I have this Icebound Tomb, which is also AoE when you get the specialization. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 AoE abilities, so you can do AoE damage for days. So this is the only skill I couldn't decide on, because it really depends. For example, when you are on an offensive, you want to go on the offensive side, you can take Blitz and get the specialization from Limit Break. So you get the extra 20% damage boost on your flash wave, and you can double cast it. Like so. This is really good, but I'm mostly using the specialized version of my omnipotent skill, this one, these days, because it's a really good defensive skill. So I'm just gonna freestyle for a little bit to show you the damage output and showcase the abilities and the damage output, and I'm gonna go into details in a moment. So just to deal some AoE damage, like so, everything spreads because almost all of your abilities apply frost, even your basic attacks. You apply frost to everything in sight, so your whole damage is spread. You can do single target or AoE damage if you want. And you are almost never out of skills to use because you have your cooldowns coming up. Like I said, if you can't hit anything, you can hit these two because they are on a very short cooldown. After using your other abilities, you can always go to these two. And always rely on those when you are out of skills to use. But also make sure to utilize your basic attacks, since you want to apply frost and your basic attacks apply frost, which I will explain in a little bit. So you can see that almost all of your abilities are AoE, and you're almost never out of skills to spam with the called purple arrow and other damaging abilities. So frost is your friend, and it's crucial for three things: the damage spread. Once you apply the frost, the damage spreads to other targets, the damage boost for other abilities, and also the weaken duration increase, the movement speed duration increase. So make sure you always apply targets, and you always apply frost to your target for these three. And how to apply frost? There are multiple ways of applying it, but the most important one is, I think, overlooked, which is this passive ability, Frost Master. So as you can see, it applies frost effects to targets within 3 meters. So it not only applies to target itself, but also the other ones. As you can see, so we applied frost to 3 people or 3 targets in this case. So it is very easy to apply frost, but if you don't want to use your basic attacks, you can make use of other abilities like this one. This also is an AoE frost applying skill with the, you can see you apply frost to all the targets, but you have to get the specialization for it. For the Icebound Tomb, you gotta get this Icy Mire specialization. You can also apply frost with Frost Smokescreen. As you can see, it also damages and applies frost to all targets within the area. But if you're still having trouble applying frost with these three ways, you can make use of this one. it's really easy to apply frost to multiple targets or a single target. You can use this, or use the single version Ice Spear Bombardment to apply frost to a single target. So there are lots and lots of ways to apply frost with these. For example, fighting bosses or stationary targets, you always want to boost your damage. So obviously start with Victorious Energy first, then if you have time, apply Decisive Sniping, which boosts your critical hit chance, and use also Icebound Tomb. This one is really effective. It doesn't say here, but it says in the skill specialization. Let me move the camera. So you can see here it says reduces the target's movement speed and also decreasing melee ranged magic evasion by 400, which is crazy if you ask me. This is a huge debuff on the target, so make sure you get this one. Even if not for the AoE, get it for the debuff. So yeah, let's start with our combo. Victorious Energy, we draw our bow, hit the sniping, apply the frost, and we can deal all the damage we want. Base. This gives us gale stacks, and we use up the stacks with the Detonart, and just go crazy with your AoE abilities for days. Do some healing on the side. Yeah, it's pretty much pretty fun, but it's pretty much this. Just make sure you apply frost to the target with any of these methods I mentioned, and also make sure you apply gale stacks to boost Zephyr's damage, and that's pretty much it. You can even use the dash, which is supposed to be a defensive skill, but you can even use this one as an offensive skill that deals damage over time, and also applies frost. Yeah, it is pretty fun. Okay, let's talk about keyboard and mouse shortcuts and hardware a little. So I have this Rogue Chakram X mouse that has this joystick wheel, which is very useful for a lot of things, which I'm going to explain in a little bit. And these side buttons that are also very useful, especially this one, the one at the frontmost, which I use for selecting the targets. You can see here. I also have on screen overlay keyboard and mouse, so you can follow my actions. Like I mentioned before, I have my skill and equipment sets on numpad keys 789, 456 for the first, second and third sets. So let me try some skills over here. For example, I have this decisive sniping skill, the side button. So when I draw this bag, charges up, and when I leave, so it really gives the feeling of drawing a bowstring. Let me do that again. So select the target with my front key, and then I draw the string of the bow with this mouse wheel. So I just let go. I also have the flick for the front. As you can see, this brutal arrow. And obviously these other 1 to 6 keyboard shortcuts. I'm gonna do the flick again, the brutal arrow flick, like this. Sniping. And the flick. So I have no problem accessing 1 to 5, but I have some problems accessing 6 over here. So I do this, and I can go to 6 like this, but sometimes I have to go to 7, which is more than hard. Especially the 7. Especially hitting 7 is a problem, really far. Aside from that, I have everything I need. Right hand side, I got all my skills, like I said, in the mouse. The middle click is my dash, blink, like so. You can dash around. And the up and down movement is for the power-ups and the healing. So down is the boost, victorious energy, and the up is the healing. So I use these a lot also. The front flick. So I almost never have to let go of my hand. I can just combo everything without ever leaving my keyboard or mouse. Yeah, I can go like this all day. Just the 7, I couldn't find a fix for it yet. Maybe I'll use one of the extra buttons on the mouse. But yeah, keyboard and mouse is really important for your gameplay. Doing your combos, accessing your skills. So I highly suggest you get a functional mouse, like Logitech's popular G502, or this one I really like, Rock Chakram. Really good mouse. Haven't had any issues with it. So this 7 is the only problem for me. I'll figure it out. Okay, I think that's all for keyboard and mouse functions. I don't know what else I can add. Just freestyling so you can see my actions. And it should be enough. So the video has been longer than I expected, so I think I won't go into details about my gear. I think I'll do them in a separate video some other time, because I have some interesting builds with some interesting different gears. But to give you an idea, I'm using Talos stuff and Karnik's Netherbow to boost my staff range, and nothing more. And I want to change this cloak to Forsaken Embrace. Later on, I have my Shadow Harvester 2-piece, Swirling Essence, and Band of Universal Power is essential for trying out different builds. And I have one Dimensional Ring, so I'm only missing a Belt of Bloodlust for now. But yeah, these are my items. I'll explain my reasoning for my build and gear Here's piece by piece. So I'll leave you with some interesting footage, and with some PvE, some PvP, some sample footage of what you can do on the floor. And I don't know if this was the best video. I just felt like I had to do it before my skill bar, before my build, everything changes drastically. So I hope it helped you in one way or another. Let me know if you play it. Let me know if you incorporate some parts of it in your build. Let me know if you think it was fun. But I'm really enjoying it very much. I have zero intention of adding fire to my build. I'll just keep playing Ice Mage as long as I can. Even when I get Spear as a second weapon, I think I'll go with Staff Main as a Staff Main and Ice Mage. I don't see that changing, so I'll try to fine tune and better my build. The only downside is the Belander stuff works, the passive for it works with the burning stacks, so that's the only downside I see. If you don't have a Belander weapon, you don't have to worry about it, but yeah. As always, see you in another video and good luck out there, guys. Here is a footage of the Archboss Talent conflict fight. So in this footage you can see that I'm not even trying to PvP, but I'm still getting a lot of kills and assists. You can see I'm racking up those numbers even by just attacking the boss because of the whole damage spread and AoE abilities. I got like 50 kills and I don't get